Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. There we go. We got it? Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? I want to introduce to you, in this corner for the good and the right, stands a champion robed in white. His height exceeds the heavens, his weight outweighs the world, his reach reaches everywhere, his age is evermore. He is higher than the highest, greater than the great. No one will ever take his power away. He's more mighty than the mightiest, he reigns from above. He's the old-time, undisputed, undefeated champion of love.
Well, it's great to have all of you here this morning. These are really fascinating classes. I like the hands-on kinds of things, and the hand-to-mouth is even more delicious. It's really great having you here, Mark. Let's have a prayer as we begin. Father in heaven, we're thankful that you brought us here and that you brought Mark to teach us some things about health and nutrition and how to have fun in the kitchen. Bless our time together in Jesus' name. Amen. Mark.
Amen. All right. How we doing? Fun days. And looks like pretty good weather today, too. So let's see here. What can we start with? I got to talk a little bit about what we did the last couple days. And I was curious, was there anybody out there that actually grabbed a couple of these gallons of water with the numbers on them and tried that yesterday? Are they here? Anybody try that yesterday? You did? How'd it work? Were you able to drink the whole thing? Did you drink the whole thing, though? It's a little challenging, isn't it? It is. It actually took me a couple months to get used to consuming the right amount of water. It just, it doesn't happen overnight. But it really makes you feel better when you start drinking the right amount of water. What else did we do? I got to talk about yesterday just a little bit here because yesterday we did the waffles. And quite a few of you were probably here for yesterday's waffle presentation. And I just wanted to share with you because somebody actually did waffles last night or this morning. And it works fabulous, let me tell you. You just have to have equal parts of liquid and oats. And I was thinking about this morning, and I was like, because I didn't tell you all the varieties. My wife and I, we do what is called tropical. She calls them tropical delight. And she'll take the oats with orange juice and pineapple juice, just equal parts, and she'll just add all these fun coconut and things like that to it. And she's got a tropical one. She does ones with mini chocolate chips even. She does the little mini chocolate chips, but that's kind of sticky and it's a little messy, so she doesn't do a lot of those because she likes to have something that she can take on the road with her and, still hit the steering wheel, I guess. Almond. We do an almond delight one that is almonds, and you can use the almond extracts that work really good in those. Another waffle that we do is actually a savory waffle where you can use water and oats and then hit it with basil and oregano and garlic. Yeah, and you're actually making a savory. You use your Italian spices in it, and then you can actually take your waffle, you can toast it in the toaster because a lot of times you freeze it, right? You toast it in the toaster, hit it with spaghetti or pizza sauce, add your cheese, your toppings, and you have a waffle pizza, and you can put them in the oven and have waffle pizzas, and they taste fantastic. They're absolutely fabulous. So, and that's why, a lot of times I'm teaching concepts on how to do something, but man, you can really go to the extremes. Once you have the base, then you can really run with it. Okay, a couple more things. This is the one thing I love about doing these kind of events. When I'm here the next day, I can look back and say, oh, wait, I wanted to mention this. Oh, wait, because a lot of times I'm doing a one-day event, and I'm done with the event, and I'm like, oh, man, I forgot to do this, and I forgot to do that. And, I think there's going to be a lot of redheads in heaven. Yeah. Yeah, because they're like, oh, if I would have known, right? That's the way I am. If I would have known. But I wanted to share this with you because we talked about exercise yesterday. What do wealthy people do? What do healthy people do? And this is from Dave Ramsey. I love Dave Ramsey. He's just always got great advice. He's, pretty good sound advice person. Okay, 76% of wealthy people exercise aerobically 4 days a week, while only 23% of poor people do this. There's another one here. Well, the same goes for your health. he's got a couple little studies here. And what I wanted to share with you was, if you want to be wealthy, you look at what wealthy people do, and that's what you do. If you want to be healthy, you do what healthy people do, and just follow what they do. You know, it's not real difficult to find out. If you want to be a successful teacher, go find out what successful teachers do. You know, this is why we do these things. And it's the same thing with your health. You know, health and wealth, does it mean if you go out there and exercise 4 days a week, you're actually going to be wealthy? No, of course not. But you'll see trends like this. You know, and it does actually, when you exercise and you get more active, it's going to make you more energetic, and you can actually be more productive. You know, in everything you do, you're going to have more energy. You're going to want to be a do person rather than a couch potato. You know, let's go do something. Let's go do something that creates success or whatever. But yeah, so I wanted to share that with you. And I had a couple other studies here I got to show from yesterday, because we were talking about the biggest meal for breakfast, a smaller lunch, and a smaller dinner. One of these studies shows where 2 big meals a day is far better than 6 small meals a day. You know, a lot of people are on this, you know, eat small portions all day long, and that is not good for you. And they did these studies here, and they found out that the group that was eating 2 larger meals lost more weight during each 12-week session than the people who were eating 6 meals. Exact same calories, but the people that ate it in 2 meals actually lost more weight than the people eating the exact same calories in 6 meals. And eating fewer, bigger meals also led to lower fasting blood sugar levels, meaning that the body's insulin production was working more efficiently. And the bottom line is, don't skip dinner altogether, but focus instead on eating a hearty breakfast and lunch and keeping your last meal of the day low in calories. That was the whole, you know, thing of this particular article, which was from American Diabetes Association. That's what that one was from. And there's another one here from Tel Aviv University that's talking about the same situation. You had these people that were eating the biggest meal for dinner compared to the people that were eating the biggest meal for breakfast. And exact same calories. They were all overweight people, hundreds of people here. They were all overweight, but they both got the exact same amount of calories. But one group got the majority of their calories at dinner. The other group got the majority of their calories for breakfast. The breakfast group lost an average of 19.1 pounds, while the dinner group only lost 8 pounds. They're getting the exact same amount of calories, the exact same food. They're just eating it at different times. And body mass index declined by 10% for the breakfast group and only 5% by the dinner group. Triglyceride levels fell 34% for the breakfast group and only 15% for the dinner group. And the list goes on and on. You know, the breakfast group had lower glucose and insulin response after lunch, suggesting that a higher calorie breakfast helps participants maintain a stable insulin levels. And so that's why I really promote having that biggest meal for breakfast. It's so critically important. All right, I got to get to work here. We got food to cook. We got, oh wait, I didn't do my blood test yesterday either. Let me get that real quick here. I'll forget if I don't do this. Yeah, because I had part of my blood test, but I didn't go through the whole thing. Calcium, 9.2. Actually on the high side. And the doctor says, you're eating a lot of salads, aren't you? And I was like, yeah, every day. That's where you get your calcium. You got to eat those greens. You know, and most people are not going to have a problem not getting enough calcium, okay? It does not happen. You know, calcium is one of the, and by the way, there's people that have too much calcium. Let me tell you, that's a big problem here if I can find it real quick. Too much calcium causes osteoporosis. Did y'all know that? You ever hear those commercials with the lady? It's for Boniva. You know that drug Boniva? And she's actually telling you, make sure you drink milk and eat lots of cheese. which is one of the causes of the disease that she's selling you the drug for. In the same 30-second commercial, she's telling you to consume the product that causes the disease. You know, and a lot of the calcium tablets are actually made from animal products. And let me tell you, calcium is a big problem. Dr. Andrew Weil, I think you all know him. Big guy with a beard and stuff, you know, kind of scruffy. He's kind of extreme on things sometimes, but this is from his website. It says, I urge you to reduce the amount immediately of calcium. You can get adequate amounts from your diet if you just eat a lot of cooked greens, collard greens, molasses, sesame, broccoli, or tofu. You know, and here, high protein. Here's another one. High protein diets also cause the bones to lose calcium, so keep your daily protein levels low. He's saying that right here too. Avoid sodas, caffeine, smoking. Those all promote calcium loss. And, here's another one. Here's vitamin D toxicity. This is on the same page, so I'll share this with you real quick. Vitamin D toxicity caused by vitamin D supplements. Yeah. Not by diet or exposure to the sun. The main consequence of vitamin D toxicity is a buildup of calcium in your bones. So you take the vitamin D supplements and you actually end up with hypercalcemia. You know, and this is a major problem. Consistent consumption of vitamin D supplements causes toxicity. And you got people taking all these vitamin D supplements every day, you know. Which, you know, I got to point something out too, okay? Every body is a little bit different, right? You know, and every body's going to have little particular needs. And even though the odds of you having calcium deficiency is 1 in a million, you still may be calcium deficient. You know, if you live in a place that never gets sunshine, or you're working in an office 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you never get sunshine, you might need some vitamin D. But that doesn't mean go get massive amounts. I mean, most pills, it's like 10,000 times the daily recommended allowance, you know, or, you know, I see it, right? 460 times, 640 times the recommended daily allowance, or what? It's like, what do you need all this for? You know, you think, because you need some, and that's good for you, that you get a lot, and that's going to be better for you? It's not the case. Protein was perfect. 7.0. I'm going to turn your whole world upside down right here. You know, like I talked about, we live in this upside down world. You know, and bottom line, my protein was 7.0. Now, the universities that discovered how much protein the body needs took the highest amount of protein that anybody should ever need, and they doubled that. That was their recommendation to the World Health Organization. And then the World Health Organization doubled that. Now, and this is from the World Health Organization. You can look all this up. Here, from the World Health Organization. The average man needs 55 grams a day. The average woman needs 44 grams a day, according to the World Health Organization. Even though it should be 11, okay? But according to them, 55 for men, 44 for women, and the national average is 120 grams a day. So we're almost 3 times the amount of protein we're supposed to be having according to their standards, which are way too high. And now they know for a fact too much protein causes kidney damage. Too much protein causes kidney stones. I got the latest information. This is going to blow you away. This is the federal government's website, the National Library of Medicine. Renal patients that they put on low protein diets live years longer than renal patients they put on high protein diets. And they still put renal patients on high protein diets. Throw some gasoline on the fire, why don't you? That's what they're doing. It's just horrifying what's going on. And now the newest information, Journal of American Medical Association, August of 2016, so 6 or 8 months ago, 26-year study, okay? This is right from the Journal of American Medical Association. Multiple universities studying this. 26-year study. High animal protein is positively associated with mortality, while high plant protein is inversely associated with mortality, even in people with multiple lifestyle risk factors. In every single case, animal protein kills you quicker. Plant protein makes you live longer. So there's a huge difference between these two proteins. But Satan, he does the bundling effect. Puts it all together. All you need is protein. Just here, get your protein. Doesn't matter where, you got to get protein. And you don't need all that protein. That's the bottom line. I got to get some cooking going here. I got to go to a video first, though. Here, let me share one thing with you real quick here, then we're going to go to a video. Go to the grocery store. Well, let me put it this way for you. I'll ask you the questions. What are the 3 nutrients that society's always telling you need more of? Protein, calcium, the 3 major ones. Protein, calcium, and vitamin D. Oh, you got to get more protein. Oh, you need more calcium. If you don't get more vitamin D, you're going to die. You know, I mean, that's kind of the image that they put out there. More. And let me tell you, what are the 3 nutrients, basically the only 3 nutrients you get out of animal products? Protein, calcium, and vitamin D. The exact same 3. Now, isn't that a coincidence? And even though we have the highest consumption of animal products in the history of the planet, how can we be the lowest on those exact same 3 nutrients? You see, it's just not possible. The reason we believe this is because we live in this fragmentized society. And as long as you hear it enough times, you're going to believe it. And the better the lies are presented, the more absurd the truth is going to sound. I've said this a couple days ago. This is what's happening. Go to the grocery store, okay? It's not that these people are lying to you, even though quite a few of them are. But just go to the grocery store. Everywhere you look, high protein, high calcium, high vitamin D, just everywhere. Boom, boom. The ones that have the highest protein or calcium wins. And our brains sit here and they see this over and over and over and thinking, oh man, I must need more protein. It's everywhere. People on television, even doctors on television, now you know you need more protein. He's looking at a camera. He's never seen my blood test. How does he know that I need more protein? But we see this, we hear it over and over and over and over and over, and then we just start believing it when it's just not true. It's a fragmentized world we live in. All right, but today, I got to share with you some videos because we got to talk about our freezer. So we're going to watch a video right now showing you how to set up your freezer for success. Here we go. Hello, Mark Anthony here, and I wanted to share with you what my freezer looks like at home. And yeah, I'm taking a little break at home and getting out of the studio kitchen for a day. And this is not staged, by the way, just to let you know, this is not staged. This is what my freezer looks like on any given day. And it's so easy to do this. Right up here, I've got a section for breads. I've got some Ezekiel breads. I've got some organic. I always do the organic breads, trying to get off the genetically modified wheat and things like that. Right here is vegetables, nothing but vegetables. And then down here, if you've been watching some of my clips, you will learn how to do these. Parboiled rice, I've got black beans, brown rice, quinoa, everything's dated. There's pinto beans back there. I think I got some kidney beans. Way back here, I've got my big potatoes. You remember I do these quite a bit, and we'll just pull them out, thaw them out, and they're ready to go. So but we do eat a lot of those. But this is the way you want to have your kitchen designed, because I'll take a lot of these, and this is my recipe. 2 cups, boom, in a recipe. And it's so fast. I mean, you can do things right away. And if you have your freezer designed in a healthier nature like this, it's going to make your success at getting healthy so much better. You know, and let me tell you, I don't have to do this for myself. I have a passion, you know, because God has taught me how to live a healthier life, and I just want to share that with you. And it just takes steps. You want to just keep taking steps, and one of the best steps you could ever possibly take is designing your freezer like this. You are going to have so much more success by having a healthier designed freezer. Now, I do have some ice creams up here that are all vegan. Right here, this is actually, if I can open them, bananas that we do through a Champion mixer, one of those type of things. So we've got a little dessert there. And I've got some jellies, little burger station here, because we do those. And mostly I've got the homemade ones. And I'll show you how to make some of those. Those are some, that's my testing right now to see how they handle the freezer. I actually test everything I do. And I want to know if it's going to work in the freezer when it gets thawed out, because there's actually a science to it as to the molecular structure of food and how it breaks down and tightens up in the freezing process. So sometimes something will be successful for the fridge, but it's not going to be successful when it goes in the freezer and then back to the pan. You know, so I always want to know, you know, where the best success is going to be from a recipe. So anyway, just thought I'd share this with you. Do this. Get your freezer functioning the way it's supposed to. Do your batch cooking on the rices and the beans and the potatoes. You got to have your batch cooking, because that is going to make your kitchen life so much easier. You are going to save so much more time in the kitchen. So anyway, share this with your friends, because they too need this, and have that passion to help each other get healthy. And we'll see you next time in the kitchen. Have a great day. Everything in there, it's carb heavy. We talked about the carbs yesterday. We need more carbs, and so it's a lot of carbs. You know, the beans, the rice, things like that. And here's these right here. I've got them right here, and they work great. Chickpeas, really great in the freezer. So you cook off big batches of them and just bag them up like this, and then you can pull them out anytime you want, and you don't have all the chemicals and all the, you know, things that the cans, you know, the loaded salt and things like that. And brown rice, you can do different types of rices, and these work really good. You just pull it out. You can throw them in the fridge a day or two ahead of time if you want, or just lay them out on the counter for an hour or two, and they'll soften up and be ready to serve in no time at all. So, in fact, now, when it comes to rice cooking, there's some different ways you can cook rice. Some people do like 1 part rice, 2 parts water. That's kind of the ballpark. I mean, different rices have different levels, so you got to be careful with that. But there's a 1 part rice, 2 part. One of the interesting ways you can do rice is actually fill it up with water, like 1 part rice to 6 or 8 parts of water. Just boil it like you would pasta for about 30 minutes. Then you drain the water off, put the rice back in the pot, and put a lid on it, and just let it rest for about 20 minutes. And it comes out perfect every time. That's actually the best way to cook rice, is do it in the big quantity of water and drain the water off halfway through, or, you know, usually about a half hour into it. And what it does is it cooks the outside of the rice properly when you're boiling it, and then it cooks the inside of the rice properly when it's getting that last steaming action. Otherwise, you're overcooking the outside, or you're undercooking the inside. So that's kind of the best way to do it. Now with beans, here's another situation with the beans here. One thing you can do, and see, these are frozen. But I'm going to get some of these cooked up. I'm going to put just a little drop of water in here. Not a lot. Hopefully I won't burn anything today. I'm going to have you keep an eye on things. Black beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, any kind of beans you want to do. We're just going to put these right in the pot here. And we're going to do this with one of the rices too. We'll just put a rice in here too. So just like that. And we'll put a cover on it and steam this baby. Normally these Salad Master pans, you bring it to a boil and then you drop it right down to low. And so that's what I'm going to try to do here, but we'll see how it works. Okay, when you're going to cook beans, and you're going to cook them so you want them in the freezer like this, what you want to do is cook them at a lower temperature. You want to keep your temperature below 200 degrees. I have a digital crock pot, so I put it at 190. And I'll cook them for 3, 4, 5 hours, depending on the bean, because every bean takes a little bit more or less time to cook, right? But what you want to do is you just want them babies to swell. And once they swell to where they need to be, then you've got a bean that's not mashed up. It's just a gorgeous whole bean. Because once you go above that boiling point, or 200, 212 degrees, you know, now the beans are agitating in there, and they're just going to get beat up. And pretty soon you got soup. Where if you just put it at like 190, 180, you know, the crock pots, you can put it on low and just let them swell. They're going to cook, but they're going to be at a lower temperature, which holds more nutrient for one, but you're going to have a gorgeous bean. And that way it's going to look great on salads and every application. It's not just going to be soup. So that's your whole trick to doing beans that way. Even the chickpeas work great like that. So in fact, I can put some chickpeas in here if you want. Why not? We can do that. Let me just throw some chickpeas in there too. Don't tell anybody I did that. I better not burn this today. I like the pans that have the heavy bottom on them. You know, it's not a ironclad. It's actually called a disc. Technically, it's got that thick disc on the bottom, but I don't have one today, so I really got to be careful. All right. Let's watch one more video if we can, and I think we're going to watch the burger crumbles. And do you need to be down there too? Are you multitasking today? By the way, let's give these guys an applaud, because those guys in that room have been doing a fantastic job. When I came here, they actually, I had my DVDs set up, and they had a real challenge, you know, having to convert them into what they use. And it's not that I'm high tech, I'm like the Stone Ages. They said, what do we do with that pencil and paper kind of thing, you know? So, but they did, they got them transferred over, so that was. Hi, Mark Anthony here to show you how to make some burger crumbles at home. An actual homemade hamburger substitute that's healthy for you, and rather than that store-bought stuff. And what we're going to do here is I'm actually making it with brown rice, quinoa, and black beans. We're going to take some water here. I've got some water warmed up, and I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of this no beef base. This is called Better Than Bouillon, no beef base. And so a lot of times you'll see that in my recipes as a beefless base is what I usually put that on my recipes. And we're just going to mix this together, and you can kind of see how it's all just kind of melting together here. And I'm going to add a couple more ingredients to this. I've got a tablespoon of Bragg's liquid aminos, which you can use. Low sodium soy sauce works good. Got a tablespoon of garlic and a tablespoon of onion. So we've got a little added flavor there for you. And all we're going to do is mix this up real good. And this is one of those recipes where my brain was saying, okay, there's got to be something better. There's got to be something better than the stuff you get in the grocery stores, and that's healthier for you. So give this a quick stir. Now, for the actual beans, if you've ever seen my cooking shows where I'm making these baggies, these are my own homemade cooked beans. So we're going to take 2 cups. So we've got two, which this pretty much holds 2 cups. I did not measure these out exactly, but if it's not really packed in here, it really holds into about 2 cups. So we're just doing 2 cups, 2 cups, and 2 cups. So that's what we've got going on here. 2 cups of each, and this might even be about 2.5 cups on each one of these. And I can grab a spoon right here, give this a little stir. You can see it's quite a bit of volume here so far, but 2 cups, 2 cups, and 2 cups will work just perfect for you at home. And once you have this, we're going to mix in, and you can see how it's already dissolving and everything. And let me tell you, it does not have to be perfect here, but we're going to mix in all those ingredients and continue giving this a little stir because we want it to be evenly incorporated. And just like that, this is ready to go. But for today, I'm actually going to add a 1/4 cup of olive oil. And that is going to be a little wow factor. You do not need to use the olive oil. That is just a little added bonus that will really surprise your guests. And so there you go. All right. And then once you have it mixed up, we're going to put this in the food processor here. And you can do this in a couple batches if you want. I'm just going to show you the basics here. And I'm going to put all this right in here, just like that. And we're going to give this baby a nice blend. Woo, you can just smell the aroma. This is fabulous. All right, we're gonna pull the centerpiece out and get that scraped down right there the easy way. And then just like this, we're gonna put this right into our hot pan. Yes, the aroma will blow you away. Amazing. Okay, get this out of the way, and there we go. So this is going to cook right here, and you're just going to let it cook. Every couple minutes, we're just going to flip it over and flip it over and flip it over. So, but let me share with you exactly what we're doing here. So this is cooking. If you've ever seen these Morning Star, there's different brands of burger crumbles. Now these babies here, textured vegetable protein, soy protein concentrate, and then down below it's got your milk, skim milk, and egg whites. So it has animal products in it. If you're allergic to those eggs or milk, you couldn't even eat this, but they really call it a vegetarian item. Now just to let you know, TVP, this is TVP, textured vegetable protein, sometimes called textured soy protein. Now I really don't have a problem with this. A lot of people think or call this excitotoxins. You might have heard that word before. There's a lot of fear factor out there about staying away from soy and textured vegetable proteins because it is a meat substitute. So of course they're going to try to tell you to stay away from anything that's a meat substitute, or stay away from anything that's a milk substitute. So anyway, and by the way, this right here runs about $1 a pound, where this right here is running about $10 a pound. Because this is 12 ounces and you're paying $6 or $7 for it. So that's very expensive. Now let me give this a little flip here, and you'll kind of get the idea of how this is browning on the back side. You can see where it's browning, and it's going to keep on browning like that. It's going to take about 15-20 minutes, and you're just going to keep flipping it over. But let me show you the finished product here, because what I do with it when it's done, I'm going to let it cool, and then I throw it in bags like this and stick them in the freezer. You all know my freezer that has my baggies stacked up here. But let me show you what this looks like when it's done. Just like that, literally, you got the most awesome burger crumbles that you can use in, whether it be chilies or spaghetti we make spaghetti with this, and then we put the burger crumbles right on the top. You're not going to want to put these burger crumbles in the saucing, marinating pots for hours and hours and hours. You'd want to put this in there right before you serve, so that it stays chunky like this. And just like that, it is that easy. You're going to save a ton of money by doing it this way, and you don't have all those chemicals, you don't have all those animal products from the hexans or the soy protein concentrates. Those are the things you want to be afraid of. Soy protein concentrates, soy protein isolates. That is an extremely refined and processed product, where this has no refining, no processes whatsoever, and it's just a healthy option for your burger crumbles. So that easy. Mark Anthony, thank you all for tuning in, and make sure you check out my website at chefmarkanthony.com. We'll see you next time in the kitchen. Saving it for later, but it'd probably be easier for him to do the other video before he runs back out here, because he's going to have to be out here when I do these soy curls. So this other video is how to make a breakfast sausage that's just fabulous. And so let's check out this other video, and then we can go from there. Hi, Mark Anthony here to show you one of my most popular recipes, breakfast sausage. And today I've got a lot of ingredients. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on here. We are going to supersize this batch. And I do a lot of batch cooking commercially, so this is what I do. I've actually got some black beans here, and you'll notice my recipe calls for white beans. And I'm going to use black beans. You can use any kind of beans you want. In fact, what we're going to do is at the end of this recording, I will actually list the exact recipe for a single recipe. But we're going 4x today, 4 times the amount. So instead of 1 cup of beans, we're doing 4 cups of beans. Instead of 1 cup of chicken broth, we're doing 4 cups of chicken broth. And so the entire recipe is going to be really supersized here. I've got some olive oil here, and this right here is Bragg's liquid aminos. You can also use low sodium soy sauce, and then I've got some maple syrup. And if you're going to use the maple syrup that is not real maple syrup, make sure you get the one that is without the high fructose corn syrup. That's the ones I use if I'm ever going to use that type. And okay, now we've got our liquids in here, so we're going to start giving this a stir. And when it comes to breakfast sausage, it's all about the spices. It really is. And right now I'm just mashing those beans down. I'm going to get everything kind of incorporated so it's nice and smooth. Spice-wise, when it comes to sausage, you're going to have some sage, which you cannot really go overboard on the sage. You can use plenty of sage. I've got some thyme, some rosemary, and some paprika. So those are my main spices, but then you have to have it kicked up a notch with some of these fennel seeds. Fennel seeds is one of your key ingredients. If you've ever done pizzas before, it works really good in that too. But those fennel seeds are awesome. Sometimes you can use ground fennel seed, or you can take your fennel seeds if you want and just put them in the food processor and just give them a blend, and that'll actually help bust them up a little bit, and then the aroma and the flavors just really pour out of them. So a couple of strategies there for getting more flavor out of them. Especially if your seeds are old, really helps get flavor out of them. And then we've got some nutritional yeast flakes, a cup of that. So it would actually be 1/4 cup in the actual recipe for a single batch, but we're doing a 4x batch today. I've got some of this textured vegetable protein, which is just soy It's a soy product. It's a simple, not a big processed item like a lot of this stuff is out in today's society. And I've talked about those products before. If you haven't seen those, be a good one to educate yourself about soy products. And if you want, you can hit it with a pinch of red pepper just to kind of kick it up a notch. And then our thickening agent basically is going to be this Vital Wheat Gluten flour, VITAL, Vital Wheat Gluten. Different than the high gluten flour that you would use for pizza doughs and things like that. Vital is a real high gluten flour. It's actually good for breads and different things. Of course, if you're a celiac, then you're not going to want to use this particular recipe, but for the rest of you, for the other 99% of the population, you'll be just fine with this. And so we're going to give this a stir. And what I did is I left a little bit out because I actually want to get this incorporated before I really start figuring out how thick I'm going to have it. Especially when you're making big batches, it's kind of a trial and error. A lot of times you'll do a 4X or a 6X on a little batch, and the little batch turns out great, and then all of a sudden the big batch just does not turn out exactly like the little batch does. And that's kind of a, just happens that way sometimes. Usually it does pretty good. So I'm just kind of adding a little bit of flour at a time here at the end. And I do this even if I'm doing a single batch, so because I want to see how thick this is going to be. And I want it definitely thicker than this, so I think we're going to be okay. I've got 5 cups here because normally it'd be 1 1/4 on an actual recipe. So it's good to just put a little bit at a time like this, that way it's not all clumping together. And I'm going to use it all. I am definitely going to use it all, it looks like. And I actually even brought an extra bag just in case I needed more. Because you want this a little bit on the drier side. If it's too wet, it'll take too long to cook. So looks pretty good right there. That works for me. And I think what I'll do, just for fun, is grab my gloves here and really play around. I think I'll turn my flames on there. Get that pan warmed up here. Okay. Now comes the fun part. There we go. See, that way I'm getting all the bottom, make sure it's completely mixed together. And you can see how it is kind of soft. It is a little soft. It didn't look that soft when I was doing it, but as I went a little bit farther there, I was like, yeah, I think I could use a little bit more flour. So we're going to just give it a little bit more here, and that'll take care of that. Good for kids that like to play in their food. Yes, this is a good play in my food type of recipe. Okay, I think that's going to do the trick there. And then, when I've got it here, let me set this aside for just a minute. And we're going to grab a big sheet of foil here. And we're going to take this, and we're going to take about 1/3 of it and wrap it up in this foil, just like a Tootsie Roll. So we're kind of forming it nice and tight in the beginning too. Then we're going to give this baby a nice, kind of tighten up those edges as we go along, just like that. Okay. And I can even turn the sides and see how it tightens up just like a Tootsie Roll. That's what we're looking for. Just tighten it up just like a Tootsie Roll there. Okay. And then I've got a couple other ones here for you. Here's what we're going to do. I saved a couple little pieces here because you can make little ones like this. And you just make it. In fact, we do a lot of them like this. We'll make little itty bitty ones, and then you just roll the sides up just like this, and boom. You got your little Tootsie Rolls. That's what you're looking for right there, little Tootsie Rolls. And of course, this one here, we're going to do the same thing. And we're going to roll this together, just like little Tootsie Rolls. And you want to tighten it up, because that way it gets your nice uniform look to them, just like that. Okay, now these are going to go in the oven. This right here goes in the oven. And the smaller ones only take about 30 minutes to do. And I'm actually going to do a water bath where I put about 3 or 4 cups of water inside this pan. I'll put it in the oven, and then I'll pour the water inside, so it's actually sitting in a water bath. 350 degrees. These are going to take about half an hour. These are going to take about an hour to an hour and a half. So it does take a little bit longer. And let me show you what they look like when they come out. There we go. And I'm going to share with you right here. You can see some of these that are popped open, because what I'll do here is I'm going to do a couple little stabs just to make sure we've got some little pressure going, a little air being able to release from them. But when you pull them apart, let's see if we can pull some little ones here. And these just came out of the oven. So a lot of times I'm going to let them rest a little bit too. But boom, you got your breakfast sausage. And they look good, they taste good. Like I said, you can use any kind of beans you want. This is one of those fun recipes that I came up with quite a few years ago. And I've used it many times over the years, and because it's got such fabulous flavor, and that little bit of oil there just really gives you a realistic. So we got those types, and then let me show you like this big one here. See, it's still steaming hot. That's why I like to wear gloves. And don't worry about this piece right here. That's okay if it breaks open like that. That is perfectly okay. We're just going to roll this out just like that. Looks like a filet mignon. So when you get it here, what I do with these big rolls is I'm going to do slices. And then these slices are going to get, put a little bit of olive oil in here. These slices are going to get fried up. So it'll be like breakfast patty sausage. That's what those will be like. Just like that. So it's that easy to do breakfast sausages. You can do big batches, throw them in the freezer, pull them out when you want, and then just fire them up. And I will want to get some browning action on these. See, you can see how these are browning already. Look at that. That's what you're looking for. And when you get that crispness, that crisp browning action on it, whoo boy, put some of that on each side and people are going to say, wow, this is really great, because it is. So that's what you do, just a 4X. We're going to put the single recipe on the end of this segment so you can freeze frame and copy it off and everything. Or I've got this recipe on my website at chefmarkanthony.com. And by all means, help share these messages, send them off to your friends and family all over the country, all over the world. And we will see you next time in the kitchen.